My beloved child, I am asking you to pause right now, to put down the device in your hand, and to take a deep, centering breath in my presence because I see the heaviness that has just settled over your spirit. I know that moment so well, the one where you were simply seeking a moment of rest or connection. But as you scrolled and watched, you suddenly felt your own light dim in the shadow of someone else's shine. You saw the images of their celebrations, their milestones, and their apparent perfection. And a quiet voice whispered that you are somehow less than, that you are falling behind, and that you have missed the boat that everyone else seems to be sailing on. I want you to know that I am holding you in this fragile moment, and I am not angry with you for feeling this way, for I understand the immense pressure the world places upon your weary shoulders to perform and to present a flawless image. It breaks my heart to see you measuring your beautiful, unique soul against the curated glimpses of another person's life, forgetting that you are seeing their highlight reel while you are living your behind-the-scenes reality. You are comparing your difficult climbing moments, the sweaty and messy parts of your journey, with their view from the summit, and it is stealing the joy that I have so carefully planted within your daily life. This feeling that washes over you, this sudden sense of being small or insignificant, is not the truth of who you are, but rather a distraction designed to pull your eyes away from the path I have lovingly paved specifically for your feet. When you look at them and then look back at yourself with disappointment, you are unknowingly telling me that the masterpiece I am creating in you is not good enough, and I want to gently silence that lie right now with my overwhelming love. You feel a tightness in your chest and a weariness in your bones because your soul was never designed to carry the heavy burden of constant comparison, a weight that demands you be someone other than who I created you to be. I am speaking to you now because I want to protect the work I am doing inside your heart, a work that is deep and profound and requires your full attention, not a gaze that is constantly wandering to the right or to the left. You have been feeling a subtle drain on your energy, a leaking of your spiritual strength, and you may not have realized that it stems from this habit of measuring your worth by the ruler of someone else's timeline. I am calling you back to me, back to the safety of my embrace, where your value is fixed, eternal, and completely independent of what anyone else achieves, acquires, or displays to the world around them. Do you hear my whisper in the quiet of this room, reassuring you that you are exactly where you need to be, even if it feels like you are miles away from where you thought you would be by now? The anxiety you feel is not a sign that you are failing. It is a signal that you have taken your eyes off the guide and started watching the other runners, losing your rhythm and stumbling in your own race. I want to restore your rhythm today, to slow down your breathing, and to remind you that life is not a competition to be won against your neighbor, but a sacred journey to be walked hand in hand with your Creator. There is an urgency in my heart to reach you with this message, because I see how this cycle of comparison is beginning to harden your heart and steal the softness that I love so much about you. It starts so subtly, with just a glance and a sigh, but it quickly grows into a root of bitterness that chokes out the gratitude for the blessings I have poured into your life this very morning. I want to gently uproot that weed before it takes hold, washing away the envy and the inadequacy with the water of my truth, which declares you are chosen, beloved, and appointed for a purpose that no one else can fulfill. Let us be honest about the ache you are carrying, the silent question that rises in the night asking why your breakthrough seems delayed, while others seem to walk through open doors with ease and laughter. I hear those thoughts, my child, and I am not intimidated by your honest questions, but I want to offer you a new perspective that will lift your head and heal your heart. You are not forgotten, you are not late, and you are certainly not rejected. You are simply in a different season, a season of preparation that is invisible to the world but vividly clear and precious in my sight. I want you to recognize the signs of this spiritual theft in your life, not to condemn you, but so that you can bring them to me and let me heal the places where you have been wounded by the success of others. You know that comparison has taken root when you see a friend or a stranger announce a victory, and instead of a pure spring of joy bubbling up, you feel a sharp pang of pain in your gut. That pang is the enemy of your soul trying to convince you that there is a limited amount of blessing in the world, and that their gain is somehow your loss, which is a lie I want to dismantle right now. Consider how often you have changed your goals or shifted your focus simply because you saw someone else succeeding in a certain area, and you panicked, thinking you should be doing that too. You have abandoned the unique creative ideas I gave you because they didn't look like the popular trends you see on your screen. And in doing so, you have silenced your own authentic voice. You keep switching lanes on the highway of life, trying to catch up to cars that are going to destinations you were never meant to visit, leaving you exhausted, confused, and miles away from your true home. There is a weariness in your spirit that comes from this constant shifting, a fatigue that sleep cannot cure because it is a tiredness born of trying to live someone else's life instead of embracing your own. You find that your joy is constantly interrupted, that you can be having a perfectly wonderful day until you see a picture or hear a story, and suddenly, your contentment evaporates like mist in the sun. This instability is not how I designed you to live. I created you to be like a tree planted by the water, deeply rooted and bearing your own fruit in your own season, unconcerned with the harvest of the tree across the field. You have noticed that it is becoming harder to celebrate with those who rejoice, and this frightens you because you know that you have a kind and generous heart that wants to love others well. You feel a sense of guilt when envy rears its ugly head, and you try to suppress it, but I want you to bring that envy to me so we can look at it together without shame. That envy is often just a distorted signal of a deep longing within you, a hunger for a promise I have made to you that has not yet manifested, and we can turn that longing into prayer rather than bitterness. The struggle you are facing is complex, a mixture of sadness and shame that makes you want to hide away from the world, and sometimes even hide from me, because you feel you should be better than this. You look at your own life, and suddenly everything seems dull and gray compared to the technicolor vibrancy you perceive in the lives of those you follow online. You begin to despise your own small beginnings, the quiet days of faithfulness, and the slow growth that is actually the healthiest kind of growth, trading your gratitude for a heavy cloak of resentment. I see how you struggle with the feeling of being behind in life, looking at age markers and societal timelines that dictate when you should have the career, the family, the home, or the recognition. These timelines are man-made constructs that have no bearing on my eternal plans, yet you allow them to act as a harsh judge over your soul, sentencing you to feelings of failure. You look at the calendar and panic, counting the years and the months, wondering if you have missed your window of opportunity. But I tell you that my timing is not linear like yours, and I can do in a moment what takes many years to accomplish. This distrust of your own pace has caused you to rush, to force doors open that I had shut for your protection, and to strive in your own strength until you are burned out and empty. You have been running a sprint in a marathon, exhausting your reserves trying to keep up with people who are running a completely different race with different training and different finish lines. I want you to stop running today, to sit down by the side of the road with me, and to catch your breath while I remind you that the prize is not for the swift, but for the faithful who walk with me. You have lost the sweetness of gratitude for the progress you have actually made, becoming blind to the miracles that have happened in your life because they don't look like the miracles happening in someone else's. You ignore the beautiful flowers growing in your own garden because you are staring over the fence at your neighbor's tall trees, not realizing that your garden has a fragrance and a beauty that is entirely its own. I want to open your eyes again to the abundance that is already in your hands, the blessings you prayed for years ago that you are now holding but failing to cherish because you want more. The burnout you feel is not just physical. It is a spiritual exhaustion from carrying the weight of two lives, the one you are actually living and the fantasy life you think you should be living. You are spending your emotional currency on what-ifs and if-onlys, leaving you bankrupt when it comes to investing in the present moment where I am actually waiting to meet you. You are trying to mold yourself into shapes that do not fit your soul, squeezing into expectations that constrict your spirit and leave you gasping for air. And I want to break those molds today. There is a deep, unspoken fear that perhaps I love them more than I love you, that I have favorites, and you are somehow on the outside looking in at the banquet of my blessings. This lie is the most poisonous of all, for it attacks the very foundation of your relationship with me, making you doubt my goodness and my specific, attentive love for you. I want to wash that doubt away with the truth that I am no respecter of persons, but I am a respecter of purpose, and I have a purpose for you that is as significant and precious as any you have seen in another. Let us talk about the shame that often accompanies these feelings, the sense that you are petty or unspiritual for caring about these things. But I want you to know there is no condemnation here. I know that you want to be free of this, that you want to be able to look at others and feel pure joy. And the fact that you struggle is proof that your heart is still tender and alive. We are going to work through this together, not by beating yourself up, but by gently redirecting your gaze back to the one who defines your worth and holds your future securely in his hands. You have felt the sting of exclusion, the pain of being overlooked when others are chosen, and it has triggered old wounds of rejection that you thought were long healed. It feels personal, as if the world is validating your deepest insecurities, telling you that you are not smart enough, attractive enough, or talented enough to deserve the spotlight. But I tell you that the spotlight can be a blinding place that scorches the soul, and sometimes the shadow of my hand is the safest place for you to grow strong and deep before you are exposed to the heat. The envy you feel is often mixed with a deep sorrow, a grieving for the life you haven't lived yet, and I want you to know that it is safe to cry out those tears to me. I catch every tear and I understand the language of your sighing. I know that you are not just jealous, but you are hungry for significance and validation. You want to know that your life matters, that you are making a mark, and I am here to affirm that you matter more than you can comprehend, not because of what you do, but because of who you are to me. You have been distrusting the slow seasons, viewing them as punishments or mistakes, when in reality they are the rich soil in which your character is being developed for the weight of glory to come. You see others skyrocketing to success, and you wonder why your path is full of twists, turns, and uphill climbs that leave you winded and wondering if you are lost. You are not lost, my child. You are on the scenic route of holiness, a path designed to forge intimacy with me that those on the fast track may never experience in the same depth. I see how you struggle to maintain your spiritual disciplines when you feel discouraged, thinking that prayer and fasting are not working, because you don't see the immediate external results others display. You think that if you were truly pleasing to me, your life would look more like theirs, with visible victories and tangible rewards that you can show off. But true faith is trusting in the dark what I have told you in the light, and your faithfulness in this quiet, obscure season is building a treasure in heaven that no rust can destroy and no thief can steal. The bitterness that threatens to rise up is a poison to your own spirit, and I want to help you spit it out before it infects your words and your actions toward others. You find yourself becoming critical, looking for flaws in those who succeed to make yourself feel better, picking apart their lives to find reasons why they don't deserve what they have. This criticism only hardens your heart further, building a wall between you and the community I designed for you to enjoy and be supported by. You are burning out trying to maintain an image that is not sustainable, curating a version of your life for others to see that hides the pain and the struggle, and this double life is exhausting you. You are afraid to be vulnerable because you think vulnerability looks like failure, so you suffer in silence, wearing a mask of contentment while your heart is breaking. I want you to take off the mask, to breathe freely, and to know that your weakness is the very place where my strength is made perfect and where true connection with others begins. Deep down, you are wrestling with the question of fairness, wondering why some people seem to have a smooth path while yours is paved with rocks and obstacles at every turn. You look at the wicked who prosper and the righteous who suffer, and your sense of justice is offended, causing you to question my sovereignty and my wisdom. But I remind you that you see only the surface of things. You do not see the hidden battles, the secret sorrows, or the future redemption that I am weaving into the tapestry of all lives, including yours. You feel the pressure to make it happen yourself because you fear that if you don't push, you will be left behind forever, forgotten in the dust of everyone else's progress. This self-reliance is heavy and lonely, isolating you from the help that I am ready to provide if you would only surrender the need to control the outcome. You are gripping the steering wheel of your life so tightly that your knuckles are white, and I am gently asking you to loosen your grip and let me drive you to the destination I have prepared. The fear of insignificance is a giant shadow that looms over your bed at night, whispering that your life will leave no trace, that you are just one of billions with nothing special to offer. But I tell you that I do not make mistakes and I do not make duplicates. Your fingerprint, your voice, and your heart are unlike any other in history. You have a specific assignment that only you can complete, a specific group of people to reach who will only respond to your unique frequency and sound. You have been measuring your spiritual maturity by external blessings, thinking that wealth, popularity, or ease are signs of my favor, and that struggle is a sign of my absence. This is a worldly metric that does not align with my kingdom, for often I am closest to the brokenhearted and those who are crushed in spirit. Do not mistake the silence of the waiting room for the absence of the doctor. I am working on you in you, and for you, even when the monitor of your life seems to show a flat line. I feel your frustration when you put in the effort and see little return, while others seem to stumble into success without trying, and it makes you want to give up and stop trying altogether. You ask, what is the point? And you feel the temptation to apathy, to just drift along and stop dreaming, stop hoping, and stop believing for more. I am breathing new life into those embers of hope today, fanning them into a flame that will not be extinguished by the winds of comparison or the dampness of delay. You are struggling to trust the process because the process hurts, and it requires a death to your ego and your timeline that feels like a surgery without anesthesia. You want the resurrection without the cross, the glory without the suffering, but it is in the furnace of affliction that gold is refined and made pure. I am refining you, my beloved, not to destroy you, but to make you shine with a brilliance that is genuine and lasting, not the cheap sparkle of temporary success. I know you feel isolated in this struggle, assuming that everyone else is confident and secure, while you are the only one wrestling with these feelings of inadequacy. But I tell you that this is a common battle, a shared scar of humanity, and even those you envy are looking at others with the same longing and insecurity. You are not alone in this. You are part of a family that is learning together to find their identity in me rather than in the shifting sands of public opinion. The temptation to compromise your values to get ahead is real. The subtle thought that if you just lowered your standards or played the game like everyone else, you would have what they have. But I am calling you to a higher standard, to an integrity that costs you something now but will reward you eternally. Do not trade your birthright for a bowl of stew. Do not trade the permanent approval of God for the fleeting applause of people. You have lost touch with the simple joys of your daily life, the taste of your coffee, the warmth of the sun, the sound of a loved one's voice, because your mind is always somewhere else, chasing a phantom future. You are present in body but absent in spirit, living in a mental landscape of one day while missing the gift of today. I want to ground you in the now, to help you find the sacred in the ordinary, and to realize that life is happening right here, right now, not just when you reach that distant goal. There is a grief in your heart for the time you feel you have wasted, the years you think the locusts have eaten, and you worry that it is too late to recover or to catch up. But I am the God of restoration, the one who can restore the years and make the desolate land bloom again with a beauty that surpasses its former glory. Do not mourn the past as if it is a dead end. View it as a classroom where you learned lessons that will serve you in the magnificent future I have for you. You struggle with the feeling that you are invisible, that your hard work goes unnoticed and unrewarded, and you crave the affirmation that comes from being seen and celebrated. But remember that I see in secret, and I reward in the open at the proper time. Nothing you do for me or for love is ever wasted or unseen. Your audience of one is the only audience that truly matters, and my applause is ringing out over your life even when the world is silent. The pressure to define yourself by what you do rather than who you are is immense, leading to an identity crisis whenever you face a setback or a pause in your career or ministry. You feel that if you are not producing, you are not valuable, reducing your soul to the function of a machine. I want you to know that I loved you before you did a single thing, and I will love you when you can do nothing. Your worth is intrinsic, not earned. You are tired of waiting, tired of the hallway between the doors, and your patience is wearing thin, making you irritable and prone to despair. You feel like a child stuck in the backseat asking, "Are we there yet?" over and over, and the silence is maddening. But I am the driver who knows the way, who sees the traffic and the obstacles you cannot see, and I am navigating you safely to a destination that will be worth every moment of the wait. Finally, I see the struggle to believe that I am actually good, specifically good to you, when the evidence of your eyes seems to contradict the promises in my word. You are fighting a battle for your faith, a battle to believe that I am for you and not against you, and that I am withholding no good thing from you. I want to arm you with the shield of faith today, to quench these fiery darts of doubt, and to stand firm in the knowledge that my character is unchangeable and my love for you is relentless. Now, my child, receive this revelation that will set you free. Your calling cannot be measured with someone else's timeline, because you are not building the same building. You cannot compare the foundation of a skyscraper to the foundation of a cottage. One takes much longer to lay because it is destined to go much higher and hold much more weight. You are being built for a specific magnitude of glory and responsibility, and the depth of your digging determines the height of your rising. Understand that what you see of others is often an illusion, a curated glimpse that hides the tears, the sacrifices, and the hidden battles they are fighting every single day. You envy their harvest, but you do not know the cost of their seed, nor do you know the storms they are weathering behind closed doors. Their highlight is not their whole story, and if you knew the full weight of their cross, you would likely not want to trade your life for theirs. I have built a specific lane for your soul's pace, a rhythm that honors your unique emotional, physical, and spiritual capacity, which I know better than you know yourself. If I were to give you their blessings right now without their specific preparation, it would crush you rather than bless you. I am pacing you perfectly to ensure that when you arrive at your destination, you are healthy, whole, and able to sustain the blessing I place in your hands. The delay you perceive is not a denial. It is a divine design to protect you from the pride that often accompanies premature success. I am more interested in the quality of your character than the quantity of your achievements, for character is what you will take into eternity. I am doing a deep work in you that requires time, heat, and pressure, and this work is producing a gold that is pure and enduring. You must realize that your jealousy is often a map to your own hidden desires, pointing you toward things I have actually placed in your heart to pursue. Instead of letting it turn into bitterness, let it turn into inquiry, asking me, "Lord, is this a dream you have for me too?" I can use even your difficult emotions to guide you toward your purpose if you submit them to me rather than letting them rule over you. The scarcity mindset that tells you there is not enough room for you at the table is a lie from the pit. My table is infinite, and my resources are without limit. Another person's success does not deplete the supply of my grace or my favor. There is more than enough for every child to feast and to be filled. You do not need to blow out someone else's candle to make yours shine brighter. In my kingdom, the more lights that shine, the brighter the world becomes. Your journey is being written by the author of life, and every twist in the plot is necessary for the redemption story I am telling through you. If you skip the chapters of struggle, you lose the power of the testimony, for it is the overcome obstacles that give you the authority to help others. You are in the middle of the book, not the end, and the resolution I have planned is more beautiful than you can imagine. I have given you a unique set of gifts, experiences, and even wounds that form a key that unlocks a specific door that no one else can open. When you try to be like someone else, you are trying to use their key in your door, and it will never work. Embrace your own shape, your own history, and your own quirks, for they are the very things I will use to impact the world in a way only you can. The pace at which you are moving is the pace of grace, designed to keep you in step with me rather than running ahead into danger or lagging behind in fear. Fast growth is often weak growth, like a weed that springs up overnight but withers in the sun. I am growing you like an oak, slowly and strongly. Trust the slowness, for in the slowness, roots are going down deep to tap into the hidden reservoirs of living water. You are being prepared for a weight of glory that requires a strong spiritual spine, and the exercises you are doing now, the waiting, the trusting, the persevering, are strengthening those muscles. Do not despise the gym of the wilderness. It is where champions are made, away from the crowds and the applause. You will emerge from this season with a strength and a dignity that will surprise even you. I am protecting you from opportunities that look like blessings, but are actually traps, shiny things that would distract you from the true treasure. I have closed doors that you cried over because I saw what was behind them, and I loved you too much to let you walk into harm. Trust my no as much as you trust my yes, knowing that both are expressions of my perfect love for you. Your value is not determined by your productivity or your popularity, but by the price that was paid for you, the very life of my son. You are bought with a price, and you are precious in my sight regardless of how many followers you have or how much money is in your bank account. Rest in the security of your identity as my child, an identity that can never be taken away, shaken, or improved upon. The comparison trap blinds you to the needs of those around you, turning your focus inward when I have called you to look outward and love others. When you are free from the need to compete, you are free to serve, to love, and to bless, which is the true source of joy and fulfillment. Your destiny is connected to the lives you touch, not the impressions you make. I am teaching you the art of contentment, which is not passivity, but a state of peace that acknowledges my goodness in every season. Contentment is the fortress that protects your heart from the arrows of envy, allowing you to enjoy your portion with a glad heart. When you are content, you are powerful, for you are no longer a slave to the craving for more. Remember that I am the God of the individual, the shepherd who leaves the 99 to find the one, and I am intimately involved in the details of your life. I am not comparing you to anyone. I am looking at you with the eyes of a proud father who delights in your unique expression of life. You do not need to earn my love or compete for my attention. It is fully and freely yours. The success of others is actually a prophecy of what is possible, a testimony that I am a God who blesses and moves in the lives of my children. Instead of seeing it as a threat, see it as a promise that if I can do it for them, I can do it for you in your own way and time. Let their testimony be the fuel for your faith, not the water on your fire. Finally, realize that your lane is sacred ground, a holy assignment that has been entrusted to you alone. To vacate your lane to run in someone else's is to leave your post unguarded and your mission unfulfilled. Stay at your post, keep your eyes on the commander, and trust that the victory I have planned for you is sure and certain. So now, my beloved, I encourage you to lift your head and bless those whom you have envied, for in blessing them, you break the power of jealousy over your own heart. Speak life over their success, pray for their continued growth, and watch how your own heart expands and softens. When you choose to celebrate others, you align yourself with heaven's culture, and you open the flow of joy back into your own spirit. Return to your assignment with a renewed focus, picking up the tools I have given you, and getting back to work on the wall I have asked you to build. Focus on one goal, one step, one day at a time, ignoring the noise and the distractions to the left and right. Your faithfulness in the small things is what qualifies you for the big things, so be faithful right here, right now. I challenge you to limit your triggers for the next 7 days, to fast from the sources that feed your inadequacy, and to feast on my word instead. Put down the phone, step away from the screen, and spend that time looking at the beauty of my creation and the reality of your own life. You will find that when the noise of the world is silenced, the voice of my love becomes loud and clear. Practice the discipline of gratitude, hunting for the mercies that are new every morning and writing them down as a memorial of my faithfulness. When you count your blessings, you will find that you have more than enough, and the feeling of lack will be replaced by a sense of abundance. Gratitude is the antidote to envy, turning what we have into enough and more. Trust your pace, knowing that fast is not always better, and that I am the master of timing who makes all things beautiful in their time. Walk with me in the cool of the day, matching your stride to mine, and find the rest that comes from letting me set the tempo. You are not running out of time. You are walking in eternity. Release the need to be understood or validated by the masses, and seek only the well done of your Heavenly Father. When you live for an audience of one, the pressure lifts and you are free to create, to love, and to live authentically. You are free to be the masterpiece I created, without the need for filters or edits. Remember that you are part of a body, and the eye cannot say to the hand, "I have no need of you," nor can the hand envy the eye. You have a function that is essential, and when you play your part, the whole body thrives. Embrace your function, love your role, and know that you are indispensable to my plan. I am healing your vision today, removing the scales of comparison so that you can see yourself and others through the lens of my love. You will look in the mirror and see a beloved child of God, worthy and chosen, and you will look at others and see brothers and sisters to be encouraged. The competition is over. The family reunion has begun. Be kind to yourself, my child, and extend the same grace to your own heart that you would extend to a friend who is struggling. Do not berate yourself for these feelings, but gently bring them to the light and let them evaporate in the warmth of my presence. You are a work in progress, and I am patient with you. Be patient with yourself. Know that I have a surprise for you, a blessing that is just around the corner, tailored specifically for your joy and your needs. Keep walking, keep believing, and keep trusting, for the best is truly yet to come. I am the God of the unexpected, and I love to delight my children with good gifts. Walk in the freedom of knowing that your story is being written by the best author in existence, and he writes happy endings. Your current chapter is not the end of the book, and the plot twists are leading to a glorious resolution. Trust the author, turn the page with hope, and keep reading. You are loved with an everlasting love, a love that is fierce, protective, and completely obsessed with your well-being. Let that love be the anchor of your soul, holding you steady in the storms of comparison and insecurity. You are mine, and that is the only status that truly matters. Go forth now with a lighter heart, a clearer mind, and a spirit that is settled in the truth of who you are in me. The chains of comparison have been broken, and you are free to run your race with joy and endurance. I am with you, I am for you, and I will never leave you. As we close this time together, I invite you to stay connected to this quiet space where we can meet and where you can be reminded of these truths often. If this message has whispered peace to your soul, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, not as a command, but as a way to keep this door open for future encouragement. Let us walk this journey together, day by day, message by message, deepening our relationship and your faith. Rest now, my child, in the deep assurance that you are enough, you are on time, and you are deeply, deeply loved. Let the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, guard your heart and your mind as you move forward into your beautiful, unique life. I am watching over you, now and always. Amen.